What's up guys, welcome to the part 2 in this series of creating a modern responsive website from scratch. So if you haven't watched the part 1, I recommend you do that first before coming to this second part, because I will link that above right here, or you can check the description below. So you guys, if you know you want to follow on this tutorial, you should try to watch the part 1 first so you can continue this part 2 as well. So in this part 2 we are going to be creating the about section right here. As you can see, my Figma, the design is in the Figma browser. So we're going to be creating the about section right here and the video about section right here. So right here we're going to create a video. We're actually going to use CSS for this. We're not going to be using any JavaScript at all for this section right here. We're going to be using CSS, and this is going to pop up, and the pop-up will be like this. So the video section, actually, if a visitor clicks on this, when the video is clicked, the pop-up will change to something like this. There will be a pop-up in which we're going to link this to YouTube right here. As you can see, this is one of my YouTube videos in which is a portfolio website as well. So guys, we're going to make the pop-up look like this, and we're going to use CSS for that. We're not going to use JavaScript, though there's a downside for that, but it works awesome. So guys, this is what we're going to be creating in this part 2 and this section as well, which is the about section right here. As you can see guys, we're going to create these 4 blocks, these 4 boxes, and the right side will be the text with the call to action buttons. So guys, this is what we're going to be creating for the mobile version of this. As you can see, this is the mobile version right here. The boxes will start on each other. So, and we have the text right here at the bottom side and the call to action button. Also, we have the video in which we're going to make it so small that it just fits the screen. So also the border, as you can see on the desktop version side of it, the border is kind of bigger than the mobile version. So we're going to make everything fit on mobile version. So this is what we're going to be creating in this video. So guys, you want to check the part 1 if you haven't watched that before coming to this part 2, as I said earlier. And so without wasting any time, let's just get into the full tutorial. So let's get into our code editor. I've opened my code editor down right here. This is my code editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code, which is the most popular code editor out there for web development. So guys, first we're going to start with the HTML for this part of it, for the about section right here. So for the HTML, I'll go right here. So I'm going to comment this out. This will be about me. So just go underneath that. So we're going to start our HTML right here guys. So for the first, I'm going to wrap this up with section. So guys, I prefer wrapping my section with the section tags, which is kind of the recommended way to do it with HTML. Just wrap this up with section and with the ID of about. So in the section tag, I want to create a class of container and a class of div. So I'm just going to create a class of container and the class of grade, not div, the class of grade. Sorry for that guys. So in that class, I want to create another class called LT, which is for right, which is for left. So just say the shortcut for left. I just prefer using something like this, LT. So I'm just going to create a class for that. That will be LT. And we're going to create the class for right as well, which is RT. So we have the class of right. So in the class of left, guys, in the class of left, we want to create the left boxes right here, these 4 boxes. So we want to include that in the left area of it. So we just go to the left, which is LT class. So we're going to create a Fox block in which we're going to name this block. So first, we want to create a class of block, and we're going to create a class of edge. You see right here, there's this, maybe you guys can see this. Right here, there's this box border radius. As you can see, there's this border radius. There's this border radius surrounding these boxes, and each boxes have its own edge in which it doesn't have this border radius. So we are actually going to name each of the boxes according to their edges. So this will be edge BR, which is border right, This is edge BR, which is border right. So in that, we want to include an image. So the source for this image will be images/about icon1. This is icon1. So I'm going to go underneath here, and we're going to include an h4 for the text underneath each images, in which we have right here the text underneath each images. That will be h4. So in the h4, I want to just add the user research. So in that is all for the first box. So I'm just going to copy this. So guys, just copy the first box, and we're going to paste that 3 times. So just going to save this, and what happened? This kind of not what I want. Okay, all right guys, that's looking fine. So first, want to change the edge BR to edge BL, which is border left. This will be edge TR, which is top right. This is bottom right, bottom left, top right, and this will be top left, which is TL, that is top left. So I'm just going to save this, and that is it for the boxes. So for the HTML, that is it for the boxes. So we are just going to go underneath the LT, which is the left. So we go to the right, and then want to include the text, the first text, which is this about me text, like you have right here. So let me just wrap this up with H4, and we have about me think. Yeah, that is capital letter. Anyways, let's just change that to cap. About me. So let's just go underneath the H4, and we're going to create the heading text right here. So for the heading text, we're going to use the H2 for that. That will be H2, and in the H2, we're going to include the text of the design tells the experience, which is kind of fast, you know. So let's just go underneath here, and we want to include a p tag. For the p tag, we're going to use a lorem ipsum. So we just have lorem. Let me just include 30. Oh, this is lorem. Sorry for that. Lorem. Let's just include 30. Okay, that should do. All right, guys. Let's open this up with the live server. So right here, this was what we created the last time in the part 1. So this is what we created in the part 1. So now this is what we have so far for the about section. So right here, I want to include a button below this text. So for that, I'll go to the last section, and I'll copy these buttons. So you want to copy that and go back right here and paste that underneath the p tag. So I'll just save that. So Okay, automatically we should have that designed for us because we already have the HTML, we already have the CSS for the global styling for the buttons already. So that is why I do use global styling for things I'm going to reuse in my code, because that will help you for you to just code faster and efficient. To see, now that we have the button already designed in the CSS for the global styling of everything, so now you see we have the button designed for us automatically. So whenever we want to use a button, we don't need to redesign it unless it's a different button from the global styling we have. So that is only the situation that we can just change the styling for it, but for now we're using the same button for every part of this tutorial, for every part of this website. So guys, the next thing we want to do is we want to go to the CSS and style the CSS. So right here I'll just go to the CSS right here. So for the CSS I'm going to comment this out as well. So for this I'm going to name this about me. So go underneath that, and first thing we want to do is want to style the grade first. We want to make this a grade like we have right here. We want to make this a grade. So after that we are going to make the left boxes a grade as well, because as you can see they are in a grade column. So we are going to make the boxes a grade, which will be auto, and this will be sharing the auto position as well. But for firstly, want to just style these two columns a grade, so this will be in a grade. So first let's just go right here and say the ID of about with a class of grade. So just want to style that, just say display grade, and grade, that will be GTC, that will be grade template column. We want that to be auto. Let's just save this. Okay, this works fine, but I'm thinking we should make this the mass weight, so you can just, let's check. Okay, now let's make this a mass weight of 400. So whenever it gets to 400, it can just shrink down itself. Let's check that up. Oh, sorry for this. So let's say the mobile version wanted to just stack on each other automatically on 400. So right here we have 400. So guys, we have to make this, we have to use the grade template column, but instead of using auto, we want to make it repeat. So the first character will be auto fit, and then we have the main mass. So in this, want to include two value. The first value will be 400. So the first value will be 400 pixels, while the second value will be auto. So auto means when it, you see, now it stacks on each auto. As you can see, it stacks on each auto. So auto means when it's on the desktop version, we want it to be auto, but whenever it gets to 400, you want it to just go back to the block, to display block, which means it will just stack on each auto. So let's just click this. As you can see, on 400, we want it to stack on each auto. So that makes a lot of sense. We don't need to just do the styling in the media query. So we can just use our grade system to just style that up which works fine. So I'll just go underneath this and we want to justify the column, want that to be space between. So we'll just say justify content, space between, and text. Want this to be aligned text, aligned item rather. This will be center, and grade gap, want that to be 30 pixels, or let's make this 3 rem. So I'll just save that, and you might not see a lot of changes right now. So guys, now let us style the left. Want this to be a grade as well. So you can see right here, want that to be a grade of 2 columns. So I'll just say about, and left, LT. So for that, want this to be grade. I'll just copy this, guys, and I'll paste it right here. So we don't need repeat. Want this to be auto. So that will be auto. So I'm just going to remove this, the justify content. We don't need that. I'm going to save that. Let's see. Okay, now you see this is working fine. This is on a grade, but now I want to just style the background of this and make this center. We also have to style the image as well, and the edges right here, so the border. So first, want to give it a background of white. So let's just go underneath right here. So we're just going to start this using the about, LT, and then block. BG, the BG color, that will be white. So that will be white. So just go underneath this and test, align to the center, and the width, want that to be 100%. Padding, want that to be 40 pixels, and the left and right to be 80 pixels. And I'm just going to save this, and right here we have that working fine, but not the way we want, because the reason why this is way bigger is because of the image size. The image is big as well, so I think we have to change the images. Okay, you have to change the images. I did not see that earlier. We have to change the images. See, we have different images right here, so we want to change the images. Let's go back to the HTML, and this will be icon 2, and this will be icon 3, and this will be icon 4. So let's just save that. That should do. Okay, now we have different images. So guys, before anything, let's just style the images up. So we have the about, LT, and IMG. So let's just style width. We want the weight to be 100%. So just say weight 100%, and mass weight, we want that to be 100 pixels. So let's just save this, and you see now it comes to the normal size that we want. So now let's style the edges. Let's make the border radius, and so for these, first want to style the first edge. So this will be about, LT, and the first edge will be edge BR, which is bottom right. So we just say edge. So edge, this will be BR, which is bottom right. So for this will be This will be border radius. So we have 50 pixels, which is the top. Which is the top left, and we have 50 pixels, which is the top right. Then we have 0 pixels, which will be the bottom right. See, because we want to start the bottom right, so the bottom right will be 0 pixels, while the bottom left will be 50 pixels. Let's save that and see. Let's check. Now you see we have the bottom right to be 0 pixels, so that doesn't have any border radius. So we're just going to copy this, paste it, paste. So first this will be the bottom left, this will be the top right, and this will be the top left. So for the bottom left, this is a top right, the top left, the bottom right, and then we have the bottom left after that, so that will be 0 pixels. So for the top right will be the first value, which is 0 pixels. Now, sorry for that, the top right will be the second value, which is 0 pixels, while the top left will be the first value, which will be 0 pixels. So save that and let's check. Okay, now it looks great. Everything is looking fine, except something, guys. Want to the headText should just style itself, because we've made this a global styling. I don't know why this isn't working, because we should have a border right, a border left right here. So the same thing should happen to the about me. So let's just go back to the HTML, and oh, we didn't include the class. So the class will be headText. So we have headText. I'll just save that and that should work. Okay, now it's styling it. So now I want this to move to the bottom. As you can see in the style, this isn't using the same. You see, this is coming to the bottom and this goes to the top. So guys, that is what I want to do now. I want to move this column to the bottom. So for us to do that, we have to go underneath the edge bottom left, which is right here. The edge bottom left, go in that, and we want to make that margin top 100 pixels. So we just say margin top, that will be 100 pixels. So let's save that first and see. So you see, this shifted this to the bottom, but now there is a lot of space between these two boxes. These two boxes, as I say, want to now remove the 100 pixels that we included to the margin right there. Want to remove it from this box. So we just go underneath the top right. Let's just go underneath the top right and we say margin top. Want that to be minus 100%, 100 pixels, minus 100 pixels. That should work. Now you see, now it's sharing the same margin between each columns. So that is all for the about section. But before we go to the middle code, we want to give the right column, we want to give it a width of its own. So I'll just go underneath here. I'll just say about RT, which is the right. So that I want to just give it a width of 100 pixels, 100%, a weight of 100%, and with a mass weight of 500 pixels. Want to justify this to the right, justify self, right? Let's save that. Okay, now this is looking better. So now I want to go for the media query. As you see, the text comes on the boxes when we resize this, so we don't want this to happen. Anyways, it looks great on it doesn't look great at all. So now I want to style this to make it look better. So first we go back to the CSS and I'll comment this out. This will be about media queries. So we just go underneath here and first want to create a media query for the mass weight of 1150. That will be 1150. So just add, just use the add media only screen, and with a mass weight of 1150 pixels. So now the first thing I want to do is want to start the about right. So for the about right, what's it called, the space between the grade gap, want that to be 1 M, which would be 1 rem. Want that to be, just say, grade gap, which will be GG. Want that to be 1 rem. So let's save that and see when it gets to 1000. Right. Okay, that is not working. What's wrong? Oh, this is grade left, not right. This should be LT, this will be left. Sorry for that, guys. So now when we shrink this down to, okay, now you see it works. So the text isn't overlaying the boxes for now. So when it gets to this size, now we have the same problem happening right here. So guys, we just first want to go right here, want to start the boxes, want to change the width though. So now I want to start the boxes, want to change the pattern, so we decrease the pattern so it looks great, especially the pattern from the side and the top. So we just go right here and we say about LT and the block. So first the pattern will be 32 pixels and 50 at the top and bottom and 50 at the right and left. So just save that, and looks a little bit better, and we have a more space to work with now. They are not laying on top each other anymore, and even this is looking fine on mobile. Okay, that isn't. Anyways, you can just use this like this, you can just use it like this, but I don't want it like that. Let's just go to the inspect and say you can find, let's go to the mobile version of this, and okay, let's open this up widely. Oh, it's not looking great. So that is why I want to style this on each other. It's even affecting the text right here. So if you start it on each other, it looks like this on mobile. So I want it to look like this, exactly like this on mobile. So guys, let's just go back to the CSS and I'm going to copy this. I'm gonna paste it right here and I want to change this to 100. No, I want to change this to 500. 500, and for the padding, for this padding right here, for the block, I want this to be just make this 40 pixels, and we have margin 0. So now on the mobile, I want this to be margin 0, and then we include margin bottom. So let's include margin bottom. For this, we'll make the margin bottom 40 pixels and we'll save. So this is margin bottom 40 pixels. Anyways, we want that to stack on each other so they also share the same margin. So for this, we're going back to the top and we make this about. We want to make it display block instead of displaying it grade. So we just say about and grade display block. We'll save that and we'll copy this. We want this to about grade the block. On the left as well, this will be LT left, which is why I see now it's displaying block, but I want the left as well to display block. So that is working fine, but I want to go underneath this and I want the weight of the boxes, the weight to be 100%. So when we get to something like this size, it still stays 100%. So guys, let's just go right here with 100%, and I'll save that. Let's check. Seems the margin is way more than what we want right here, so just say margin bottom, make this 20 pixels. Okay, this looks fine. Okay, this looks fine. Okay, I want to include some margin right here. So as you can see, the about section is way closer to the hero section right here, the showcase section. So I just go underneath the left and we say margin top. We want this to be, let's say 50 pixels. Save that. Okay, now it looks better. So that is it for the about section. Everything looks great on mobile version. So guys, let's just go back and go for the let's just go for the video section, the about video section, which is right here. So I'm just going to open this up. So as you can see, we have the video section right here. So first we want to write the HTML for this, and then we'll go for the CSS. So guys, for the HTML, so for the video, we want to go to the HTML. So just go underneath this and we want to wrap this up with section. So we say section with the section tag and the ID of Tom that will be thumbnail. So I'll just go on in the section thumb, not thumb. So anyways, in the section I want to wrap this up with a class of container. So guys, just use the class of container right here. So in the class of container, guys, we want to wrap this up with the class of thumbnail wrapper. So the class of thumb, this will be wrapper. So now I want to wrap this up with a link tag, which is the A tag. The reason why is because we want, whenever we click any area in this image right here, any area both the button and the image itself, we want it to pop up this video. So for that to happen, we want this to be an A tag, so we can target the video itself. So the first thing I want to do is that I want to create an image, the two images, which is the, I want to create a button itself, the play button, which is an image. I want to create this image itself, which is this guy trying to like cover its L. Anyways, it's kind of funny because let's just first want to use the image tag, but the A tag, I'm sorry, for this. Sorry for that. Want this, the href, want that to be light box. So this will target the image, the video itself. That is why for the ID of the video, we're going to use the ID for light box. So this will trigger the video itself. So now in the A tag, you want to include the images. So the first image, that is image, the source for the first image will be images slash videos.png. So just save that. I want to include a class in the image, so we just say class thumbnail image. This will be image thumbnail image. So I'll just save that and go underneath here. So we're going to include the image, another image as well. So we have image img. The source now will be images slash play button slash pmg. So this we have a class as well. The class will be play btn. So let's just check what we've created so far. Oh wow, that is way bigger than I thought. So now we have the image right here, which is way bigger, and also we have the play button. As you can see, the play button and the image both are moving whenever we move any one of these. So this is the play button below right here. So guys, now after that I want to create a video itself. So we just go underneath the thumbnail wrapper, underneath that. So I want to use our A tag for the video itself. So for the href, this will be the hash character with this character as well. So I want to include a class for this, class of light box with the ID of light box, because want the ID of the light box for the image to also target the A tag, which is the href, which is light box. We want it to target this ID, so that will be light box as well. So now let's just go in the A tag. Want to include a div with the ID. Let's just include the ID of, sorry for that guys, the ID of video model. So in the video model ID, you want to include the tab index, which will be -1. Tab index, want this to be -1, and there I want to include the row. This will be dialog, and after that we want to also include the attribute of area, label. So right here, label B, label by, something like label bar, something, I don't know how to pronounce that shit. So I'll just, this will be video model. We have video model, label. So after that, you want to include the area heading itself. Want that to be fast, so that will be area heading. Want that to be fast, and the style, want to style this as well, so we're going to use the style attribute, and this will be display. Want this to be black, so we just save that. You won't see anything yet. So underneath the div, in the div want to include two tags, which is be the span tag and the div tag. For the span tag, you just want to include the closing button, the close button. Right here, let's go to the pop-up. As you see, the video has this close button right here. Anyways, the side as well closes the video, and the video has the closing button. I just love the way the background color also blend in with this video. Right here, as you see, it blends in with the video, so that is kind of cool. Anyways, let's go back to the HTML, and for the tag, for the closing tag, want to use span. Want to wrap that up with span. So this will have the class of close, and data, the attribute of data dismiss, rather, I'm sorry, this will be that data dismiss. So for the data dismiss, you want this to be model. I'm sorry for the way I type, guys. I'm not that good in typing, still trying to improve on that. Anyways, this will be area heading as well. For the heading, this would be true, not false. So this time this will be true, and right here in the span itself, you want this to be want to use the HTML entity. You can also call it the HTML characters, something like that. So this will be and times, and now we should get the closing. You see, we have the closing icon right here, so the closing character is right here. So now let's go back, and now want to link to the video itself right now. So for the video, we want to wrap that up with div, with a class of model body, with a class of model body. This will be body. So want to wrap this up with a frame, the tag of frame. So we're going to use iframe for this. So for the source of the iframe, we want that to be the video from YouTube. I'm just going to copy this right here. I'm going to copy this link from one of my videos from YouTube. I'm just going to paste this right here, and allow want this to allow full screen. So we just say allow full screen equals nothing that won't have any value itself. We have the video right here, kind of small, and we don't want it to be like this. So anyway, just go back to the HTML. So for the video, we don't want it to be this small, so we want to add a weight in the HTML and a height. So for the weight, we want that to be 870, and for the height, we want that to be 489. That's kind of the recommended size, or I don't know, maybe. So okay, that's the size I want to use, not the recommended size. Anyway guys, so now we have the video right here. So the first thing, we want to hide this video by default. We don't want it to just display like this. So we're going to use the CSS for that. And guys, let's just go to the CSS and start styling this up. So for the CSS, I'll just go right here, and I want to comment this out. This will be video. So I'll just go underneath the comment, and the first thing we want to target the wrapper, the thumbnail wrapper. So I'll just say thumbnail, and the class of thumbnail wrapper, and now I want to include a border. The border would be 50 pixels, solid, with a white. We have the white color right here, so I'm just going to save this, and we have the border here. Not even the size of the video itself, though it's trying to just maintain the height, but it couldn't maintain the size of that because the image is way bigger than what we want. So next thing, we want to start the image, but before that, let's just include a background color right here. So we have the BG color. This will be white as well, white. So border radius, we want this to be 50 pixels, and position relative overflow hidden. So now we position the thumbnail wrapper relative, so it hides any overflow. Now you see the image now hides underneath the thumbnail wrapper, the border that we have right here. So I'm thinking, oh, we can't see the button anymore. We can't see the play button anymore because this is white, because the button as well is white. That's why we have this height right here. So but the next thing we have to do is that I want to style this image to size up this border, because this border is relative. As I think the border is relative, so the image now will be, the button image now can be absolute, so it stays in the center. So first we want to style the image, so we just copy this up and we paste it right here, and then we make this image img, and for the weight, I just want this to be 100 pixels, and let's save. Okay, now this is looking good. 100 pixels. Okay, this is looking way better. So now let's start the play button itself, kind of disrupting the height right here, taking the whole height right there. So for the play button, we want that to be in the center, Let's go back right here. So the play button, we want that to be in the center, so let's move that to the center. So we just copy this. Okay, let's just paste it. We had it copied already. This will be thumbnail img, and this will be the class of play. Oh, can't spell play btn. So for that, we want this to be the weight to be 120 pixels, position absolute instead of relative. So top, want from the top to be 50, because we want this to be in the center. So there's some trick we have to use to put that in the center. Top 50, and the left will be 50 as well, 50%. So we want to use the transform and translate just to put this in the center. The translate will be minus 50%. The second value will be minus 50% as well. We're just going to save that. And what? That is not working. Oh, that is not working because I'm using the class of, okay, now thumbnail wrapper. That should work. The class of play button, image play button. Oh, I want this to work. I have to join the image. I have to join the image and the play button class together. That should work now. Wow, that looks awesome, guys. Looks great. You see, whenever we click on the button, it takes us to the video, because we are targeting the video ID right here, the ID of Lightbox. So whenever we click on any site, when we click on the border, it doesn't work. The border doesn't do anything. But when we click on the image or the play button, it takes us to the video. But this isn't what we want. We don't want it to just scroll down like that with this animation or this transition. Anyway, we don't want that. What we want is, we want this to pop up. Yeah, we want this to pop up. And for us to get that pop up, we have to style the image. The video, we have to make the video display none. We have to hide the video. So now we'll just go below. Yeah, and we want to start a video. So we just say video model. I just comment this out. Video model. So I'll go underneath this. So first thing first, we want to target the lightweight, light box, rather the light box. So for the light box, we want to display none. Display none, guys. Save that. Now we don't have the video anymore. See, we don't have the video anymore. Display none. So now for us to pop up the video, first thing, we want the position to be fixed. So it stays whenever it pops up, it takes the old position of the website. It takes the old weight and the height. So we want that to be fixed, so it stays in one place. It doesn't move. So, and the next thing, we want Z index to be 999. So it goes above everything in the website. Above everything in the website. That's why we're using the Z index. So the weight, we want that to be 100%. And for the text, we're going to use text align to the center, and top, we want that to be 0, because we'll make that position fixed top 0, left 0. Oh, sorry for that, left 0. And background color for the BG, want that to be RGB, want to use RGBA. So for the RGBA, sorry for that, for the RGBA, what? Okay. The first value will be 0, which is the blue, I think. The second value will be green, right? That will be 0 as well. And the third value will be red, I think. If I'm not correct, guys, let me know. Third value will be red, and the last value, which is the the first value will be red, the second value will be green, and the third value will be blue, and the last value will be the alpha, which is, that will be 0.8. 0.8. So we're going to save that. Okay. I keep expecting something to happen, but we haven't done that yet. So the next thing we want to do is the cursor. Want the cursor to be pointer, and now want to create the animation. Whenever we click, we don't want it to just pop up straight like that. We want it to animate a little bit. So we're going to be using the animate name. So we have the animation. For the name, we want the name to be fade in opacity. So fade in opacity. So for the animation, we have the animation and interaction count 1. We want that to happen 1. Animation interaction count. For the animation timing, so for the animation timing function, we want that to be ease in. And for the animation duration, we want that to be 3 seconds. So we save that and we go underneath the lightbox class and we create our keyframe for the animation, because we want to create a keyframe before the animation can work. So for the keyframe, add keyframe. For the identifier, we want to write the name of the animation right here. For the name of the animation, we named it fade in opacity. So now let's go to the keyframe. For the frame, we want that to start from 0%. Straightforward. The opacity now will be 0. And for the second frame, we want that to be 0 to be 100%. Want it to go directly to 100%, and this will be opacity, and the opacity will be 1, from 0 to 1, 0 opacity to 1. So let's just save that. So that won't really do anything yet, so we just have to target to trigger the target we made. So for us to trigger this, we want to use the class lightbus, and with the target, so this now will be outline, none. So we want to remove the default outline. So whenever the image pops up, we want to remove the default outline first. So the second, we want to just unhide the video. Now we want to unhide the video. So You just say display. Before we make it display none, now want to make it display block, and we save that. Okay, now it's working. Okay, now it's working. But guys, we want the height to be 100%. The weight is 100%. We want the height as well to be 100%. So we have to go back. Oh, let me just close this up so we have enough space. I didn't know I should do that earlier. Should have done that earlier. So underneath here, for the light boss class, want this to be height 100%, and we save that. Okay, let's click this. Now it's taking 100% of the weight, but the problem now, we want the video now to come to the center of this, and I can't see the now we have the close button right here. The close button is right here. It works, and also the side of the video works as well, and the video too. You can just play that up. So anyways, let's close this up, and now what we want is the first thing I want to do is I want to start the video itself. For the weight and the height of the video itself, I want that to come to the center right here. So for us to do that, let's just go back to the CSS and go underneath here. So right here I want to get a video ID, which is video modal, and for that I want to the border radius. Okay, border radius, want this to be 0, and for the weight, want the weight to be 90% by default, and the mass weight, want that to be 870 pixels. Okay, now this goes to the side. Anyways, guys, don't worry about that. We'll take that to the center, and we want that to be margin auto. That should comes back to the center, I think. No, that is now in the center. So now I want to move this to the center vertically. Want to move this to the center vertically. So we just go underneath the auto and we say position absolute. Position absolute, and top, we did this the other time. Top will be 50%. Left will be left will be 50%. Oh, not pixels, percent. And then want this to transform, translate. We want it to be, the first value will be minus 50%, and the second value will be minus 50%. And let's save that. Alright, that should work. Great, but guys, I want to include the this for WebKit. And also want to include this for the MS browser. You can include it for other browsers like Opera, like modes for Mozilla. You can just change that. So now let's click this. This is working perfectly. The icon right here, the close icon, is working as well. So anyway, guys, we want to start the model body. The model body right now will be, let's go underneath here and say video model, and then the class of model body. Now on the height which is the video itself. The video itself, we want the height to be right here, as you can see. Model body, which is the video itself, we want the height to be 489. We have that in the HTML, but we can also add that in the CSS. 489 pixels. And padding, we want that to be 0. Mask height, the mask height, we want that to be none. And overflow, we want that to be hidden. So now guys, now still have it looking great. You can just scroll up, scroll down, it's working fine. So let's go back right here. So want to include the closing, want to start the closing button now. So we have the closing button right here, as you can see. Maybe you guys can see that. Close. Color. For the color, we want that to be white. And background color, for the BG color, we want that to be the charcoal. And position, absolute. Position absolute. From the top, we want it to be minus 15 pixels. From the right, we want that to be minus 10 pixels. Let's save that. Okay, we have it right here. Now we have it beside the video. As you can see, we want to have it right here with the background color of this charcoal and white color itself. So now let's go back right here. So underneath the right, we want to font size. We want it to be 25 pixels, and padding, we want it to be 1 pixels, and left and right, we want it to be 10 pixels. Border radius, for the border radius, we want this to be 50%, and cursor, we want that to be pointer. So now you have it right here, looks great. So it works, and the side of the video also works as well. So guys, whenever we over this button want to change the color, so we just go underneath here and say close, over. So for the background color, BG, want that to be yellow. Save that. Okay. Alright guys, that is working. So want to start it for the media query, want it to be responsive on small screens. Now as you can see, we have the, let me just responsive 900. Okay, I think the border is kind of too big for a screen of this size, like the tablet. So we just go underneath these, and I'm going to copy the media query right here. Hate typing that thing out, I don't know why. So now I want to change this to 900 with a parenthesis. So underneath here for the video, first we want to start the border. Want to change the border size, so I'll just say thumb. So let's go right here where we start the border right here. So this, the wrapper, I'll just copy that and come over here, and So guys, we want to change this. Instead of 50, we want this to be 15 and save. We don't need this. Save that. Let's check. Okay, now it's way smaller. Now I love it like this. And also want to start the play button for the media query 900 pixels. So for the play button, I'll just say thumbnail, the image img, now not img, and play button we have play btn, and that want the weight to be 100%, 100%, yeah, 100%. I see no changes. Okay, let's make this 100 pixels instead of percent. No changes. What's wrong? Play btn thumbnail, play btn img, play btn. This should work. Maybe that is the normal size that we want. Let's check. Okay, I think that is the size that we want anyways. Or let's just make that 80 pixels. Okay, I think this isn't working for some reason. Oh, this isn't working. What's the problem? I don't really know what the problem is. Let's say image, the img, and we have the play button. This should be play button. Where is it? Yes, img, thumbnail, img, play button. Anyway guys, I know what is wrong with this. Let's go back to the top. Let's go to the play button right here. Where's the play button? Did we start the play button? Okay. Oh, my bad. Let me just remove the trap right here. So now it should work because, okay, now it's working. We included another class in this, and sometimes when you include a class between an actual styling, you should do the same thing in the media query as well. You should do the same thing in the media query. So sometimes if you just write the media query style like the class differently from the way you styled it in the main class, it might affect that might not work. So next time you want to check your styling and make that the same thing. So I'm just going to copy this and I'll paste that underneath here. I want to change the screen for this to 500 pixels, and the border right here will be 10 pixels, and the button will be 80 pixels. I'm just going to save that, and we're going to change this to 500. Okay, now that looks great. Even on the iPhone looks great. So guys, that is it for this video. The media query is working fine and everything is working great, guys. So that is it for this video. Sorry guys. So the next video will be the part 3 of this series. So for the next video, we are going to be creating my skills section. The skills section is what we're going to be creating for the next video, This is the skills section right here. This is the only thing we are going to be creating in the part 3. The reason why is there's a lot of things that goes into this right here. This block right here, these boxes, there is a lot, I mean a lot of things that goes into that. So you don't want to miss the next video. I'm really certain, because you're going to learn a lot of things about how to create like a progress bar like this in a circular form. Right here, as you see, this is a circular form in a cycle. You see, this is cycles. Most people create this progress bar, they prefer creating it in just a length form, in a straight form. But here we're going to be creating this in a circular form. This will be rounded, as you can see, and when we over each, it just shrinks down like this. The circle turns to something smaller, and the text itself pops up. As you can see, there's a difference, and we have this shadow underneath. So this we take a lot of our time. So that is why, because of this, we're just going to be creating this alone, just this my skills section alone in the next tutorial. And the best part about this is that this takes a lot of work to do, like way. And what is there is that because you can use this for any size. You can use it for maybe, let me just say 50%, 10%, 5%, especially when you've created the global for this, the global styling for this. Then we can just change the percent, and we're going to go over all this in the next tutorial. So guys, you don't want to miss the part 3 of this series. So anyways guys, this is all for this. I'm going to see you in the next video. So peace out guys.